Hey everybody, it's Last Robokai here, and it's time for more Fate Samurai Remnant. We have beaten the game, but that is not the end. Oh no, we have we have begun New Game Plus, and New Game Plus is really it's a traditional New Game Plus in that we get a lot more stuff out of it. In particular, we get new difficulty settings. We can choose to completely bypass the intro. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you as well. Hello, everybody. Come guys with this
I think at this point, people are clear on the fact that I'm hanging out.
Yeah, we can carry over all of our save data, which includes all of our commissions, our workshop, and everything. So obviously, that's that one. We'll stick with the same difficulty for now because I don't actually remember which of those difficulties is which, and also because the game does add a new something that's we're about at the appropriate level to take part in as well. Which is probably going to be the very first thing we encounter when we start the game up, because it starts us basically from Chapter 2's beginning, where we've already had our big moment fighting, you know, Chiemon and Lancer, and then, you know, Rogue, Saber, Assassin, and Musashi all turned up as well. This is what you get whenever you sort of, like, continue a game, by the way. Just that cute little bit every single time.
That's kind of nice.
And I did want to show that off, so this was the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
So yes, the very first thing we get is that they've added a whole bunch of new fights to the game. Every area has a sort of an enhanced enemy. Some of them are enhanced versions of the boss type monsters, and some of them are boss equivalents of the regular enemies in like trios. They all have like shells, and you've got to wear them down and beat them and break them. And in this particular case, the very first one, see, this is them explaining about it. You get a reward, and what you get is you get the good hammers for like upgrading stuff and a little bit of money. And of course, in Akasaka, it's the Loathsome Red Oni. The Loathsome Red Oni is probably the easiest one, which is a good start because all of these moves are incredibly telegraphed. But as you'll see here, he has a gigantic AoE effect on his big hammer blow now, and his big club blow. So that's one thing to be careful of if you're not, you know, riposting through him like a psychopath.
I mean, I get the distinct feeling that if you weren't reposting through this crap, like it would be very close to a one-hit quit anyway. I do appreciate that there's also a shockwave on it, so even if you do dodge out, you'll also have to jump away too.
Yeah, some of the other enemies will have entirely new moves as well, which are like with their own animations and everything. So they're pretty cool. I don't recall if this one has it. I'm probably not really gonna let him get a chance to do it anyway.
Fine. He doesn't deserve the opportunity to play the game.
But he does have a proper amount of boss health.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a two-shell affair. Yeah, here he goes.
It's like Dragon Joe is being like looking at this from outside. Oh wow!
Interrupting
okay,
his frickin' I'm pulling my my shield back up thing. Rude. Ever since I noticed Iori's handwork there, it's like it's something that astounds me every single time you do that move. There it is.
Yeah.
I was wondering when he was going to do it. Like I figured that at any moment you were going to hit the no wait, the boss is invulnerable thing.
Well, he won't stay invulnerable for long.
Oh, I was meaning more the health thing, right?
Oh, I know.
Like,
I'm just making a joke about how much we're going to kill the hell out of him.
No. This guy definitely is not getting the opportunity to play the game, and you know what? You're right to do it that way.
I just, you know, I got this on lock. I feel like it's so realized to go back and like watch when you're doing something. Now, granted, this guy's
bruisers
really easy.
Need a little bit more super armor than this cat's got to be effective.
There'll be plenty of ones later on, but it's actually fairly common for people when they start a New Game Plus, at least from reading on the internet, is they will hit one, they'll put it up to one of the harder modes, they'll go and do this fight, and they'll get one hit, and they'll be like, what?
Yeah, that more or less scans. Like, it... How I don't know exactly how to feel about that, because on one hand it's New Game Plus, so you have like you sort of suspect the game is going to modify itself to keep you from just punch of kill everything. But this one also explicitly said, like, hey, you could up the difficulty if you feel like it's going to be too easy. So I don't know if you're just like getting caught out, or if that's something you did to yourself.
And here's one for Iori and Saber's house. He's gonna push me a lot harder. First up, he just has a straight up jump backwards and lazy with his eyes move. Okay,
that comes out pretty quick.
His slam into the sky, although I riposted here, he does it 3 times now instead of 2. I mean, instead of 1, sorry.
Good lord, that laser eyes attack is mean. Wonderful for creating distance. Like, that is a well scouted and well made move. Because it's like, we talked about this early on, but it's really obvious that the game makers basically understood that there was the issue that the Oni was going to be a chronic one if they didn't do something. So there's a lot of enemies have a bunch of moves that just like return them to the center or whatever, to keep you from juggling them infinitely. Which, that's a reasonable solution, but it also feels kind of gamey. Having this Cutthroat Phantom Ogre Warrior more or less just be able to hop backward and give you a back off hit of like that. That is really good design. Like, it forces you to be a little careful about how you're prosecuting the attack and be hyper vigilant for that crouching tell he has, because it comes out quick.
Yeah, you gotta be quick on it. Also, I'm pretty sure that that interruptible attack where he came forward with the sword, this one, that's a new one too. I'm pretty sure that's new. I'm pretty sure he hasn't done that before.
I don't remember seeing it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he definitely never had something that carried him forward that aggressively before. Fuck getting caught into a corner. He just got you in a corner.
Yep.
Okay, man.
Gotta be more.
Give us that Bancho glare.
Careful. But I'm definitely getting scrumpled.
Oh, boo.
See if I remember, I can make use of someone fun now.
There you go. Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Yeah, we're starting with we get to start with all of our
Holy shit! I was making a joke that they actually were close to the same size. I didn't expect Samson to actually go full out. Yeah, no, you are nothing to me.
We'll have to show off his noble phantasm at some point. I'm pretty sure I will
gets thrown to the top ropes.
But yeah, all of the rogue servants are available from the start. I think when the story mode removes them, they still get removed. But from the start, we still get to play with them. In the state we left them in terms of whether or not we unlock their noble phantasms or not.
Alright, there we go. Should be it for this asshole.
Will never not be funny.
Like, just... It's a sweet bro and hella Jeff moment. He can't fucking stop falling down all these stairs.
All these katanas.
Warned you about Iori's, bro. I warned you, dog.
All these Miyamotos.
That's actually, yeah, that's a better way to put it. Fucking names Miyamoto, they're gonna be trouble. Oh, boo, you had that.
Weirdly, it doesn't 3 combo if you get hit with the first one. Like, not so sure what the deal is with that, but we get through. So yeah, some of them way more advanced than others in terms of like the moveset they get. And as I've sort of pointed out in a previous thing, I will try to get to a Kachimachi at some point, but trying to visit it at the moment crashes the game for some reason.
Okay.
But hey, here's something new.
The unassailable fortress. A diversion with Jean? Alright.
慈悲なき豪華に全てを奪われ、復讐の鬼へと身を落とした少年がいた。その名はチエモン。
Right. You're spelling out what we put together at the end of the
They've
the end of the
basically,
last episode.
They've basically showed us everything we need to know about Chiemon in terms of, like, showing us. We're getting a little bit of story about what he was getting up to in the moments we didn't see him. And in this particular case, this is when he gets involved in the Waxing Moon ritual.
「絶望、開口、憎悪、憤怒、たぎりほとばしる劇場に我が魂はすすけ落つ。サーバント、ランサー、どうか奇跡を期待なさらず。」
ああ、ようやくだ。これでようやく俺はランサー、俺は必ずこの江戸を地獄に変える。
地獄ですか？
ああ、燃やし尽かすぞ、何もかも。
So that's like a more traditional summoning when people want to get involved in the Grail War, but at the same time, you could sort of see that the mental corruption Chiemon has also was inflicted on the process, and that's why Jean comes out the way she does as an altar.
Right.
Pretty sure everything's not supposed to glow red and go crazy. That said, like I struggle to think of like instances where like the summoning goes perfectly.
That was something that came up in the thread a lot. It's just like there's all of this stuff in the Fate universe where summoning is well known enough that it's not like a common thing, but also randos like Chiemon, if they devote enough time to it, can piece it together. It's not it's put away by the Ministry of Suppression somewhere or something like that, right? And yet nobody can really think of a specific time when a summoning goes perfectly And nobody can think of a time when a Grail War doesn't go off with some sort of ridiculous fuckery, too.
Yeah, and it can happen, like it does with Iori. Like it just happens to happen. Like the very first summoning in Fate's Stay Night is a proper attempt at a summoning, and the servant doesn't appear in the circle, instead gets landed in another room with a really loud crash.
Cool.
It's really kind of funny. He just kind of drops through the ceiling and lands on a couch, and then just sort of sits there and waits till she turns up.
For
a minute there, I got confused and thought you meant the servant was just sort of chilling on a couch.
No, the servant does. It's Archer.
That's brilliant. Oh my god. Just you get pulled up out of nowhere, just ripped from the abyss and thrown from the sky, thrown through a roof, and it's just like, well, this is clearly my life now. You just chill on a couch, whatever. Fuck you.
It's really kind of funny. The introduction to Archer with Rin's interaction with him, because it's so funny because he spends so much time shit talking her for how she's done everything. She basically uses a command seal out of anger to get him to behave. He's like, "You idiot! I would have done that anyway. I would have behaved myself anyway. You just wasted a command seal. Holy shit, you dumbass!" It's just like, stop it.
Get you to behave. Okay, I'll technically behave, but I'm still gonna tell you you're an idiot. That was included behaving. Well, then you should have worded your wish better.
Yeah, don't waste your command seals. Holy shit.
Because I love that the entire concept of you should have worded your wish better is one of the storytelling fiats that goes pretty much in any storytelling history you can think of. Japan has tons of it with regard to various people entreating Oni for various things. The Middle East has it with the entire concept of Jin. And European storytelling has had it, even way before Christianity. It's part of fundamental Judaistic storytelling. You should be real careful about what you wish for. Good noble phantasm. I'm with it.
We always love Sean's bow. So the general thing I like here is that it basically shows that these puppets are actually something that the Tokugawa use, because they use it to defend their castles.
Yep.
So when the ones that Shosetsu has access to quite possibly were on loan from her from the shogunate, because obviously she was working with Tsuchimikado. And on top of this, they give her Minamoto no Raiko's sword for use in the ritual as well, although it doesn't quite go to plan. She gets the wrong one.
Cool. I wonder if that was also an intentional thing.
No,
probably not.
That's just another case of this is not going to plan whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate it might sound like I was gigging on the setting a little bit for it, but I actually really appreciate that there's always some kind of detail, always some kind of incompetence that happens that screws everything up. That is basically the that's any major undertaking as it stands. The entire reason why we have the concept in English, we call it institutional knowledge, of just this outrageously ingrained culture where everybody knows, even babies, that you have to do X, Y, and Z in this situation. It's because any well-laid plan of mice and men will always go awry.
確実に崩す目は見えた。 今度は俺の番だ。
Yeah, so we now have we're here the very seeds of what ends up happening at the end.
何もかも
Chiemon knows a hell of a lot more about the mechanics of this than the game lets on. But you know, at this point, that's not really a surprise. You know, if he was able to come up with his own summoning ritual, it's just like, bro's been thinking about this for a long time.
Yep, and of course, here's the next one. I'm cutting out, obviously, as I've said before, I'm cutting out all of the stuff we've already seen before, so there hasn't really been new instances of dialogue between characters yet. So far, it's just the new digressions, which is still, you know, it's still pretty good, and we're getting more into the Chiemon stuff. It's kind of good they leave this for the second pass through, because obviously I feel like if they left it in the first pass through, it's a bit heavy-handed, I think. And like, it gives a little more room to breathe in the context that you've now fully fleshed out from your entire experience with the characters.
It's very tempting to forget about Chiemon in the first playthrough for a number of reasons, and that is a good writing fiat in my opinion. Simply because you know you finally finish all of the big things that you know have been a problem for a long time, you know, with the Raiko stuff and so forth. It's just like, all right, I forgot about you. By the way, like you actually always were one of the most competent masters in the room. Like you weren't.
He is the rat.
Yeah, like you weren't one of the just like sort of random people. Like, God love him, but Zheng and Dorothea were just sort of kind of there. They were there opportunistically. They didn't live here. They didn't really have a serious stake in it. They were kind of just passing through. And Chiemon was always very clearly in it to win it, and like he was here from the start, as it were. And
yeah, he's in chapter 1 multiple times.
Yep. He was the cat you initially ran into at like right after your primary fight with Ryder. And so like it is fitting for them to both bookend exactly the same way they were in the prologue. It's just it's a lot easier to forget about Chiemon.
I can never forget him. He's literally my favorite character.
He's so good. Like, it's really helped by his voice actor too. Like, his voice actor has been feasting on Ham this entire time, and he's inspired. This is an inspired.
Yeah, like when people were posting like his other VA work, it's literally just another fake granddaughter character, and I think that was it. But that particular fake granddaughter character is also one of my favorites. Like, I love the bit when he like when he actually pulls it off, when he actually summons his servant, and he just takes a moment to enjoy the moment, and he almost sounds like a kid again.
Yeah,
and then he just
his voice literally cracks, and I'm just like, that was really the moment that told me I have to say something about how inspired this is. Like he just his voice cracks. He completely loses it. He is no longer in his right mind in that moment. He is just totally lost himself to the lizard brain, which is exactly what would happen in that situation. That was acting. That was big A acting.
So right now he's having a PTSD episode.
Yeah, he's had a couple of them so far.
ご苦労だった貴様もはや用済みだ話が違うじゃねえか仲間の隠れ場を教えりゃ見逃してくれるって来るな俺はまだ
He had a heart attack.
That's what we're saying about it.
Oh, it's just like there was no attack animation. It just looks like he just fell over.
Bloop.
分かってんだよ。でも見せらんなくたって俺は。
Oh man, yeah, I know, buddy. You already know. You've seen it 1,000 times. And you've tried so hard to forget, but your brain won't let you forget.
Oka. Otto. 俺のせいでおっかも夫も俺だけ俺なんか守られる価値なんて。ああ、そうだそうだよ。なんだっててめえなんかが。
No prizes for remembering the, or for figuring out that he's talking to his own reflection there.
Mm-hmm. He's really just internalized all of that pain and guilt.
Yep.
ガキ、てめえの望む光景ならすぐに見せてやる。だから今はまだ出てくんな。
Basically saying, please, my emotional center, don't actually remind me I'm a human being just yet. I need to murderously robot my way through this.
I have to be an ogre for a little bit longer.
ランサー、俺は
悪い夢を見ていたのでしょう。燃える故郷を見ていたのですか。
なぜそれを。そうか。お前、俺の過去を見たな。
You literally imprinted her with it.
ああ、そう。
Well, it's not like he specifically knows how these things work, probably.
Yeah, probably.
火の光景。天をつく炎と地にしみる鮮血が彩る赤熱の一面。俺が求めてやまない地獄だ。
あれがあなたの。
で、ランサー。俺が過去の夢を見ている。
Reminds me of when I was burned at the
だ
stake.
からなんだ。
それは
少し過去を覗いた程度で分け知り顔か。虫唾が走る。これは俺だけの問題だ。必要以上に踏み込むな。
This too is a manifestation of his survivor's guilt. It's not like he dislikes her, it's that he can't let her get close.
It's also kind of an open question as to exactly how much Chiemon like viscerally knows about Joan of Arc, because to be clear, like she wasn't absolved of being a witch and canonized until 1920.
Yeah.
So at this stage, like in time, you know, even if he knows, oh, that's Joan of Arc, and he somehow also is familiar with who Joan of Arc is, that's not Saint Jeanne d'Arc. That like that's the witch Joan of Arc.
その正体は
Well, are you ready to learn the identity of Assassin?
Oh, cool! All right.
ドロテア・コイエットと
Like I said, this one's a deep cut that a lot of people would probably
I
get.
don't know this one, and this came up briefly during one of your Twitch streams recently, but I haven't looked up Assassin, and I haven't really pursued Rogue Archer instead because we've already established that this is hitting a number of stories that I'm not familiar with, and I did my goddamn homework coming up with Saber. All right, I've worked hard enough for this Let's Play. I'm willing to just admit it and say I don't know this one.
Sorry, I really love this little exchange here. She makes a loud declaration. She's like, "You need to be quiet." She's like, "No, I've got a sound suppression field up. Let me have my moment." No.
この儀に勝利しなければならないの。お父様にお願いして無理に出島から江戸へとつなぎを取ってもらったんだもの。港を
You're literally just here because you were in the neighborhood.
いざとなれば。
There's a little bit more to it than that, but we'll
get
into it in a later digression.
I'm cheapening it. She does have a real stake in the game, but she doesn't quote unquote live here as I put it.
Yeah.
神奈川は抑えに行くわよ。
我が力の一端、お前に見せてやる。
You know, Dorothea has been out of the game for so long that I forgot how daintily she walks. Like, that's like a lot of extra care they put into her animations because she's supposed to be a European noblewoman who has a very specific sense of decorum and station.
And a very silly hat.
And a very silly hat. Just a ridiculous hat. What the fuck is up with that hat? It's still the stupidest hat I've ever seen in my life.
She rocks the not putting her arms in her sleeve of her coat look very well.
Yeah.
Here we go. Koga Saburo.
I don't have the slightest clue who that is.
Like I said, he's kind of a deep cut. He's a figure of Japanese folklore. It's a story about a man who is searching for his wife in a cave, and it's sort of interesting because it gets associated with Ibuki a lot, but actually that's not the mountain that he was in. But and there's like a few different sort of variations of the tale. One is like a local folklore, and one was one that turned into a more like popularized legend. And so essentially he is trapped in the cave. Like the cave entryway is blocked and he travels deeper underground, and because of the implications in, you know, that the further you go underground, the closer you get to the underworld, he eventually goes down far enough to reach the underworld, wherein he transforms into a snake and is able to return back to the above ground. And it is only thanks to the assistance of some other gods that he is able to return to a human form, and as a result he is revered somewhat as a god, which is kind of interesting.
Kind of like a demigod sort of status rather than a full-on god, particularly in the context of Shinto. I get it.
Yeah, and so like the title Koga is most commonly associated with another ninja clan, often depicted as rivals of the Iga clan.
Right.
So that's possibly also why they've made him a little bit ninja-like, though I don't think they're directly related.
No matter how powerful or noble you are, there is always time to pet a cat.
But yeah, he is his deity name is like in the region of Suwa is Suwa Myojin. His wife becomes the goddess of the lower shrine of the same region. He's the upper shrine god.
なるほど。これが異国の術か。
German buffs, baby.
それもほんの処方の。ゴイエット家の神髄はこんなものではないわ。逃がさない。
口寄せ。いいね。
Assassin has a really cool fighting style, though. I was appreciating it. Oh lord.
我は群れ、子に荒らされし不滅
Assassin has a fairly unique Noble Phantasm, in that, unlike the others where it's just a big fuck-off attack, he assumes the Omen of the Great God
that
Ibuki.
is super cool.
And you can use all the attacks, and they have unique combo enders and attacks. They're sort of similar in a lot of ways to some of his attacks, but as you can see, they are... It's
Bro
very
goes
strong.
full-on mecha with that shit. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the first time I played the game, I didn't really enjoy it so much when I got to it, but for whatever reason, it's working out a lot better now. I don't know. Maybe I've got a better handle of it now. But you know,
I
like
feel
the giant
like you're going to enjoy that in direct proportion to how well you handled the very clearly clunky handling. That feels like a really weird sentence to say. Handle the handling, but like that thing didn't turn very quickly, and the entire thing seemed pretty stiff. So if you're expecting it to be as responsive as everybody else, or as every other motion in this game, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you're willing to, or if that clicks with you, then all you need to do is just sort of toss it around.
やるわね。
Sure.
レディーの扱いを心得ているのね。
こう見えて妻もいた。複数。
Several, actually.
Yeah, she was a princess.
Forget. I appreciate how Dorothea just sort of recoiled a little bit at that. No, you don't look like it at all.
私が行こう、主よ。英霊を相手に生身のお前を晒すわけにはいかん。
I get the distinct feeling that her allowing him to go on that is one of the reasons why he eventually respected her so little as to let the mind control take form.
The digressions will go some way to sort of explaining why he did do it. They never actually overtly explain it, but it does. You know, if you're clever enough, you'll sort of pick up where the division forms between the pair of them, which I think is very good. I never really understand that gesture. Maybe he's just trying to keep all the snakes he's wrapped up in under control.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say probably like one of the most one of the things about Assassin is that like probably gonna get your best use out of him if you make use of his movement skill. Because a lot of his other skills kind of feel a bit weird and clunky to use, even in the Ibuki form. But like, the dash attack is really good, and Twin Viper's here is. It's equivalent to the big water beam attack that you can do with Saber, and so it's actually really good.
Yeah, the thing that you constantly use to interrupt everything your opponent is doing. Yeah, it looks like it takes much the same form. I do appreciate how Assassin is like constantly laughing every time he does a major attack. He finds himself just incredibly amusing.
Yeah, so like the reason why Ibuki gets detailed a lot is because like the Omen of Mount Ibuki is again, as is with Takuru, with Saber, a place where a very powerful like god exists. And it's important to note, this is not like your conventional god, it's not like, you know, Zeus on Olympus or anything. We're talking something more akin to, like, a very powerful wild spirit.
Oh. Wow, okay, that was interesting.
Yeah, Snake Pit.
That's the movement skill you were referring to, I presume.
Yeah, it's like... it's honestly kind of funny in a lot of ways. How his abilities work or do not work. They really, like, Archer is a really bad fight for Assassin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like it seemed fine, just so long as you could zone out your enemy and make sure that they were constantly uncomfortable. And Archer is just not that. He's not uncomfortable in the zones you can put him in. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Like you're just moving around a little bit more. You're not a big deal.
Oh, at least we have Mecha Snake. Don't really see many places you can go to get away from Mecha Snake.
If he jumped back to the center right now, that would be a real pain in the ass for him.
Yes.
Because you would not be able to turn around properly. But it appears as though the game kind of understands that and is giving you leeway with backing him into a corner.
Yeah, plus we're actually stunning him. It's really hard to see, but he's actually been stunned with every single attack, because it is a noble phantasm.
Lord.
Vomiting jungle. You okay there, buddy?
No. You just gave him a whole new meaning to knock a guy up. Warp.
あの世神をも殺すか。ありえぬことではないが、万が一もある。今は引こう。
引いた。もうここへは来ないでほしいものだが。
どういうこと？こんな場所に英霊がいるなんて聞いてないわよ。
神速の弓矢を振るいし戦士。アーチャーで間違いなかろう。
Or a really confused Saber.
連れていたのとは別の英霊よね。
さよう。いずれかがアーチャーではない。あるいはアーチャーが2機存在している。
そんな。いえ、そもそもこの儀は不完全。由来すらわからないいびつな召喚式を用いている。何が起ころうとも不思議ではないわ。
Well, she knows that much at least.
She's working with a pretty solid theoretical foundation. It's just that, you know, the major problem that she has is that everything she's running into doesn't exactly go with the original plan.
いいな。もし隠れておるならば、見事な怨行よ。
仮に双方がアーチャーだとするならば、父貴とは別に呼ばれてきたということよね。けれど、この儀の参加者は限られている。7つのクラスの英霊と。
This is basically where she puts together from her own
つまりそのサーバントは、
there's the
主を持たないはぐれとでも言うべき存在。
That's ultimately why she resolves to try and take care of Rogacha by suppressing the ley lines here.
これまで以上に慎重にことを進める必要がありそうね。
Of course, every time we complete these digressions, we do get our own rewards.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, so this is how it starts. We will be spending a good part of this just doing digressions with characters that we haven't done digressions with before, and this will continue next time when we do a little bit more Dorothea, but also get to spend some time with Zheng and Zhou, and we get to see what they were doing while we were doing our little pursuit of Assassin in the first run through. Yeah, so that is everything here. Yeah, there's nothing else to say at this point. So I've been Lost Robokai.
And I have been Cool Guy.
And we'll see y'all next time when we continue our little journey. We will be getting some new dialogue as well in the next one. The game starts to sort of sneak them in then. So we'll see y'all next time.